Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you are all well, you amazing, amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. And it's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday already. Thank Crunchy. It's Friday. And I was going to do this video yesterday, but I did the live yesterday and had a bit of a rant and a moan on there. So I thought that I'd have a bit of a breather, let things settle, let things simmer down, and then I would come back with a new energy, new lease of life, and talk about the only true facts in the Idaho 4 case. Because I think people get a little bit confused. Whatever side of the fence they're on, they get a little bit confused. But specifically, can't believe I said that. That was amazing. I got that right first time. Just like you, by the way. You look amazing. But yes, so people get confused as to the facts. But I think the most recent court hearing was a bit of an eye-opener, wasn't it? It kind of taught us some of the facts. Because let's not, and what I mean by facts, I'm going to say what we know in terms of being the general public, who are much of the time treated like mushrooms, fed shit and kept in the dark. But look, this is where we are at the moment with the Idaho 4 case. There is still no justice. Over a year down the track, and still no justice. And in fact, justice is a dot to us, as we simply just can't see it. No matter how hard we look, even with binoculars, can't see it. It's a dot to us. That's justice. So just think how these families feel. Some of them probably feel worse than others because they feel the weight of two victims, not just one. And some of them have got the support of the University of Idaho. Balls deep in the University of Idaho. Loving it. But no, look, at the end of the day, I'm sure they all want justice equally and they all want this to be over so they can start the true healing process, because that can only come once whoever did this heinous crime is brought to justice. And I think whether we're Kohberger guilters or Kohberger not guilters and a little bit sceptical, there should in fact be more sceptical people after that debacle the other day in court. But anyway, that's by the by. But people, we all want the same thing. We all want whoever did this to pay for the crime. And when I say we all want this, that's the problem. That's one of the first facts. I don't think for some people it matters. They just want someone to pay, not the right person to pay. Some people are so hell-bent on trusting what they're told by mainstream media and the dirty blouse people and the likes of law enforcement. And look, Pete, I see comments saying, "Oh, he's so against law enforcement." I'm not against law enforcement. I'm not dead against law enforcement. I know that in this establishment there are going to be fantastic people. The sad fact is, I know because of first-hand experience, there are some bent-ass motherfuckers in it as well, and that's just the way it is. In every walk of life, you can say that there's going to be fantastic ones and there's going to be not so fantastic ones and there's going to be out-and-out bad ones, rotten apples. And in the Idaho 4 case, we have problems. There are some massive, massive problems. And regardless of whether you're a guilter or not guilter, if you truly are in this and following this crime and following how it's going, and you've got to be able to step back and think, hold on a second, even if this guy's guilty, I believe he's guilty, say. I believe Kohberger is the man, he's the one. But I do still want him to get a fair trial. So when all is said and done, there's going to be nobody who can turn around and say, what the fuck just happened there? How did we even get there? How is it that Ann Taylor, his legal representation, is still over a year later asking for the same stuff? She's still awaiting discovery. How is that right? And I see comments, and they're like, oh, fucking Ann Taylor, she's stolen things. We just want this over. And that's the people who you have to watch out for. Like I say, these are not the people who want justice done properly. They just want this over. They just want to be able to say, yeah, the person I thought did it and the person who law enforcement said did it, he's the person who did it. He's the person who did it. We was all right, and all them who were skeptical are wrong. I can see it coming out. I had to comment the other day, fucking idiot. Oh, I can't wait for Koberger to be killed, and then this channel becomes irrelevant. As long as there are people like that, channels like mine will never become irrelevant, because we're here to balance the scales. We're here to try and make some people step back. And we can't get everybody, do you know what I mean? Some people are so they've made up their mind as to what the story is that they don't, that's all that matters, that they've made up their mind. Why would you even try and change my mind? I'm not going to. And because it is that people make up their mind, they won't change. But had somebody have followed what truly happened the other day in court, they should be concerned whatever side of the fence they're on. Now, I saw a judge that clearly is balls deep in his friend. Bill Thompson and Judge John Judge are like that. And that is a conflict of interest. And Taylor wanted to turn around in that courtroom, like I would have done, and said, I keep asking this little prick for things that I need to be able to do my job properly, and this guy here get a fair trial, but he don't fucking get it sorted. But she daren't say what she wants to say. She has to keep apologising. Oh, I'm not saying anything bad against your friend, who I know if I upset, you're going to have a conversation about it, and then you're going to fuck me over. How is that a thing? And they should have wheeled Judge John Judge into that courtroom in a bed, because he looked bored as fuck. As soon as his friend talked, he perked up, wanted to listen. As soon as Ann Taylor wanted to have a discussion, he was struggling to keep his fucking face straight. It was like he wanted to burst out laughing. How can anybody be watching a court hearing like that when the stakes are so fucking high and feel that that's okay? And even try and have the audacity to blame Ann Taylor. How can you be over a year down the line and only now be receiving autopsy photographs or x-ray photographs that you have requested? I don't get it. I simply can't get it. Now, I believe that Brian Koberger needs to, I did before feel that Brian Koberger needed different representation. I do still feel that, because I feel that they need somebody who can step in there and isn't going to be restricted in how they feel that they can talk and behave in the court. And I feel that Ann Taylor hasn't got the balls, the cojones, to turn around and say, no, I'm now going to say everything that I've got to say. She's too fucking scared. At the end of the day, she works for the state, she's within the state, and these two people are her colleagues. And that is a problem. That is a conflict of interest. That alone, Brian Koberger will get an appeal. Even if he's found guilty, he can appeal on that alone. That he felt that he was not given adequate representation because the person who was representing him was scared of the lead prosecutor and the fucking judge being bum chums. And that's as simple as that. And they are the facts. That's the facts of this case. The white Hyundai Elantra, we don't know whose fucking car it was. It might have been his, it might not have been his. It might have been his, but we don't know 100% what time the crime happened. Ann Taylor is trying to say that there is an incoming alibi, which will prove that Brian Koberger was somewhere else at the time that this crime took place, or the time that the prosecution, law enforcement, are trying to say it took place. Now, the sad thing is, Brian Koberger could have done this crime. But because they didn't do their jobs properly, and they tried to leap over the procedures because they were pressurized to rush and hurry up, they tried to reverse engineer this case. And then what happens is, because they reverse engineer it, there are things that they haven't investigated fully that they make up. So that's the things that bite them in the arse. Because now they are so hell-bent on saying, right, this crime happens at 4 o'clock, yada, yada, yada. What if Brian Koberger can now prove that he was, say, 25, 30 miles away somewhere else at the time of their crime? When in fact this crime could have happened later on or earlier on, when Brian Koberger might have been a lot closer. maybe in running distance of the house. I don't know. I'm just spitballing, but do your fucking jobs properly. But what is happening in this court and around this case is not right. It isn't right. And like I say, if you are in this because you want justice, you want true justice, you want whoever did it to pay, then you shouldn't be happy right now. You should not be happy right now. It's not Ann Taylor's doing. She is trying to do her job. At the end of the day, whether you like Brian Koberger, whether you don't like him, whether you think that he's guilty, whether you think he's a fucking weirdo, you think his eyebrows are too bushy, you think his head's the wrong fucking shape, you think he's an incel, whatever you think, if you want justice, you should want him to get a fair trial to try and prove all of the doubters of his guilt wrong. Do you know what I mean? To be able to say, well, there you go, there you have it. Well, if that's the case, and they've got all of this information that's going to nail him to the wall, why are they so scared of an alibi? Why is Ann Taylor still requesting shit that she should have had months ago? And why is the judge laughing like this is some fucking joke? Let me know down below. I think I need to go and have a bit of a lay down. So I'll see you in the next one.